Alrighty, sorry I didn't record anything yesterday. There was just a lot going on between me having to work from 3 to 10, and then there was also TennoCon, and I also, when I got home, I had a headache. My head was trying to assassinate me, basically. And sadly, I could not watch TennoCon because I was at work. But despite not being able to watch TennoCon live, I still got the rewards from it, so got Halvu right here, and then also I got the second Mesa Prime. Even if I don't do anything with this Mesa Prime, it still is a free inventory slot, and she comes pre-installed with a tater. Same with the Halvu, but maybe I'll try to make a speed Mesa something. I'll figure it out. But Halvu comes pre-tatered, and it seems alright. It's definitely at least a fun weapon to use. I just wish it was maybe a little bit better. Some of its stats are on the lower side. For the normal form, you got 25% crit chance, 2.5x crit damage, 19% status. The crit chance and damage are pretty good, but the status is a little bit on the lower side. Granted, the sentient status does improve status chance, so that helps out. And then for the alternate form, the crit chance and crit damage are a little bit lower, but the status chance is better. But that total damage is definitely a bit low, I think. Regardless, this is what I've been testing with so far. I'm not 100% happy with it yet. I think I might want to try Serration instead of Rifle Elementalist. I need to do more testing with it. And also, since it only has one status effect in base, that does kind of hurt it a little bit, because then you're not being able to make as much out of Galvanized Aptitude. But normal form, pretty standard. It kind of just functions like a normal auto rifle. As you can see, damage is definitely not insane. Once we get the galvanized mods procced, it works a bit better, but this is definitely not good. It's definitely not going to be as good as incarnate weapons or adversary weapons. But yeah, get the galvanized procced, and it works decently now. But the alternate form is the actually interesting form. It has a pretty cool animation to it too. Definitely looks cool, that is for sure. And when you're within 9 meters of enemies, this is the one kind of downside of it. It has a 9-meter range, but when you're within 9 meters of enemies, it targets multiple of them, up to 4. And as you can see, not exactly stellar damage, but it's alright. It's definitely not awful, but could definitely be a bit better, I think. Again, maybe I'm just missing something for the build. I'll do some more testing later, but it's definitely a fun weapon. This is pretty cool, and even if you're outside the range, you can still just directly shoot enemies. Man, I'm like out of breath. I don't know why. It's pretty hot in my room, gotta say. It's supposed to be getting hot again this week, so that's fun. But regardless, this is a cool weapon. And then you can also see that I'm on the Mesa Heirloom skin. I do really like this skin, but I do have like 2 or 3 criticisms with it. Mostly comes to the duster. First criticism is that for some reason, it looks like her delts get massive with the duster. She almost looks like one of those bodybuilders that inject the oil into their arms, so that's a little off-putting. And then the other issue comes with the cloak part of it. I think it would be cool if you could remove the cloak, but also the cloak does get a bit buggy, to not much of a surprise. But when you're on certain animations, so if I go to this Mirage one and then auxiliary, it tends to clip like that. And it's definitely not just this animation, because if and let me go back to this one, and we're here on just Daggeth Noble, it's bugging out again. And go to Folly, it's a little bit awkward. Lace to the side, Yara, that's a little bit better. Varuna Noble, oh yeah, wow, okay. It could probably be fixed. That is what I'm trying to say. But overall, I do really like the skin. Just, those few criticisms with it. But anyway, suppose we'll just do more leveling, because that's what I got to do. Yippee. Even though I did not watch TennoCon, and I still need to watch it, actually. At least the Tenno Live part of it, the Warframe stuff. It does seem like it was a pretty good TennoCon, because I took some notes. I watched a recap video on it, and it definitely looks like there's some cool stuff. So just starting off, I mean, there's Warframe in Fortnite. Of course, Fortnite has to collab with absolutely everything. I wonder if these collabs even start to feel that special anymore, because Fortnite just does it with everything. Like, Fortnite's identity at this point is just everything. It doesn't really have an identity, it's just everything. But yeah, there's that. And you can play as Excalibur in Fortnite. Gosh, I have not played Fortnite in years. I would only play it some if like my friend or my sister wanted to play it. I definitely don't hate the game, especially like I used to. I used to just hate the game because I would hear about it so often, and as someone that just thought the game was alright, I got so tired of hearing about it every single day, even when I was not searching for it. But anyway, into the Warframe stuff. actually. We're getting Citrine Prime as well as Stephalos Prime. Now, it does not seem like there's a Chlorophyll Prime. I do know some people were a little bit upset about that. I'm kind of surprised there's not. Like, is there really just one weapon for the Prime? Or did I miss one of them? Regardless, there's Stephalos Prime. I don't know how good that weapon is. I definitely don't hear much about Stephalos, so maybe it will be better with the Prime. But Citrine Prime, that's pretty cool. I've kind of wanted to try out Citrine. Only reason I haven't is it's kind of a silly problem. I don't really feel like building up frames that I know are getting a prime later. Like, for example, Cyto 9, I think he's pretty cool. I want to play him some. I don't really feel like building him out though, because he's going to get a prime at some point, and I don't want to waste my materials, man. I'm sure I'll let go of that problem here soonish, especially since I'm almost done with the LR grind. But for now, I'd rather save my materials for primes. But regardless, Citrine Prime, Stephalos Prime, that still is cool. Do kind of wish there was a Chlorophyll Prime. Then there's some prime accessories with her, of course. I know some of them are for the Operator and Drifter. They look kind of neat, and the Citrine Prime, I should say, looks kind of cool as well. I think I prefer the deluxe skin still, but might mess around between the two. And then there's also an Amir Nightwave, which is going to be pretty funny, I think. Looking forward to how that's going to go out. And there's going to be chem stuff with it, I think. I heard that's supposed to be kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons type of deal. I'm sure I'll actually learn a bit more if I watch the stream back, but that does sound at least interesting. Curious how it will actually go. And I think this is supposed to happen in August, but regardless, chem stuff, even though I'm not much of a fan of chem stuff, I got no problem with the devs doing stuff with chem, because I know quite a few other people like it, so why not let them have their fun with it, right? And if it's an enjoyable game, then whatever. And if people enjoy it, then whatever. I do not care. And there's an operator suit that I believe is from the Nightwave. It's a motorcyclist outfit, and it looks kind of neat. I don't really fashion my operator too much because I don't use my operator or drifter too much, only occasionally, especially when I go down. Most of the time when I use my operator drifter, it's just to proc the Madurai chain sling, so I see my drifter for maybe 2 seconds, if even. And then later on, there's supposed to be a cold frame. I think this is for the fall, and their name is Naren, or Naren, however you say that. When I hear that, I just think, oh, female Frost. It's kind of wild that our only cold frame is Frost, actually. So it is good that we're getting a second one. Regardless, hopefully they're pretty cool. And then there's also going to be a Banshee Deluxe and a touch-up. Now, they showed the Deluxe, and it looks really cool. I'm actually quite a fan of it. Hopefully this touch-up makes her just better, of course. It does not really sound like they're reworking her. They're just wanting to make her a little bit easier to play because they say she can do some crazy stuff. It's just hard to pull off. I don't know how true that is. I do not ever really play Banshee, but Banshee definitely does need some attention. That is for sure. Hello, Voska Kavat. What is up with your face? Oh gosh, naming. What do I want to come up with? Let's hear their color scheme. Is there anything I can go off with that? What is up with their face though? I'm still confused about that. It looks messed up. Like, what is happening? Gosh, I hate coming up with names. I'm not good at it. Let's hear. It starts with a V. Is there anything that I can do right now? I was thinking about Valentine, but I don't know about that. Valentino. No, there's got to be something. I'll just go with Valen. I can't think of anything else. Valen, short for Valentine. Alright, then I need you to mature so I can rank you up, please. Yep, mature for combat. Oh, and now they got some blue on them. Okay, I see how it is. Anyway, yeah, hope that Banshee touch-up really helps out a lot. Hopefully it makes her a lot better. I don't know exactly what they can do, but Banshee Prime was the lowest played frame of 2025, so she definitely needs the help. And there are frames below Banshee Prime, of course, in that list, but the thing is, they're all normal frames that already have a prime, so I'm not really counting those. Anyway, going on though, there's a cat ear Concura Signa, so that's kind of funny. It's kind of wild it took us this long to get cat ears, actually. I feel like cat ears are pretty popular, but that's happening, so you can have your cat ear Valkyrie or Cora, Wisp, whoever. Then there's also going to be a new shotgun and fist melee. I don't know the full details about them, but they showed images and they look pretty cool. And of course, the main thing, we're going to Tau, and Tau looks really cool, and the whole theme and aesthetic of it is just very nice. I like it. And of course, with that, there has to be a Tau themed frame, which is a detective frame that is sentient, or they call it a chimera in this case. Instead of a proto frame, imagine if the proto frame were a base sentient, basically. I think that's the best way to put it. But they are voiced by Matt Mercer, which is pretty cool, I think. I am kind of a fan of Matt Mercer because he voices Cassidy from Overwatch, and then on top of that, he voices Hit from Dragon Ball, so he's a cool guy. And then also, of course, Leon from the older Resident Evil. It's cool to see him doing stuff for this. And then they show off the frame a little bit as well. And he has an exalted revolver, which I think is going to be pretty cool. I've always been a fan of just really secondaries, you know, sidearms, that type of deal in any game. Having like a nice, powerful secondary is just a great feeling, I think. So he's getting a cool revolver that, I mean, I love the aesthetic of it. I personally have not seen the gameplay, funny enough, but I need to. Again, I'll probably look this up later today. But I think that's the main things from the TennoCon, Tenno Live portion. Of course, there was other TennoCon events. You had some music events, some cosplay, just cool community stuff, right? And hopefully everyone enjoyed it. I wish I could have watched the TennoCon Warframe portion of it live, but sadly had work. Anyway, I think that's about all I got to talk about for now. I think overall it was a great TennoCon, even though I didn't watch it, but it seems like everyone really liked it, and I'm glad to see that. But it seems like there's going to be an August update for the Amira Nightwave, then there's going to be a Fall Nightwave for Naren or Naren, however you say her name, and then there's going to be the December update for all the Tau stuff. So there is at least some stuff coming along the way to Tau, which is nice because that means that it's not just going to be a dry period. Oh, and I mean, of course, there's going to be dog days. I don't know if that was talked about at TennoCon or not, but I mean, I think that's kind of just a given. Anyway, that's all I got to talk about for now, so I'll see you all whatever I do next.